Okay, good morning, everyone. Present today in the pre-bid conference of this activity denominated as Supply and Delivery of Global Communication Satellite System, real-time kinetic system, and external radio setup. It is incorporated, represented by its authorized representative, Raquel Rice Francisco. Good morning, Ina. Good morning. Attorney Mico, you may now start the presentation. Thank you very much.
So again, good morning everyone and welcome to the pre-bid conference for the supply and delivery of global navigation satellite system or the GNSS real-time kinematic system or RTK system with external radio setup with contract ID 22GC00087 with an approved budget for the contract of 3,905,000 pesos. So the end user for this procurement is the Bureau of Equipment. So this is the presentation outline for today's pre-bid conference. First, we have a discussion on the preparation of bids. This includes the eligibility, legal and financial documents. We have the technical specifications, the bidding forms pursuant to the GBPB 6th edition bidding documents, as well as the format and signing of bids, and including the sealing and marking of bids. We will also be discussing the procurement timeline, as well as the reasons for rejection of bids and ineligibility of the bidders. And finally, the question and answer session or portion of the outline for the presentation. The purpose of this pre-bid conference, for the information of all present, as well as those watching online in the social media platforms of the Platform Goods, the purpose is to clarify and address the bidders' questions on the technical and financial components of the project. Also, this is to ensure that the bidders fully understand the procuring entity's requirements and to ensure also that the bidders know the changes and or amendments to the bidding documents. Please be reminded that any statement made at the pre-bid conference does not modify the terms of the bidding documents unless the said statement is specifically identified in writing as an official addendum through the issuance of a bid or supplemental bulletin. The pre-bid conference is also an opportunity for the prospective bidders to request for clarifications about the bidding documents. The Platform Goods will respond in writing by issuing a bid or supplemental bulletin uploaded to the websites of the DPWH and PhilJets. So we have the DPWH website, dpwh.gov.ph, and the PhilJets websites, www.philjeps.gov.ph, or the notices page of the PhilJets website. Now let's move on to the preparation of bids. We have the Class A documents. This consists of the legal documents. Ano po ba itong legal documents natin? This is enumerated under the valid PhilJets registration certificate of platinum membership. Yung all pages po natin. All legal documents indicated in the said certificate must be current and updated. And please be reminded that during post-qualification, the supplier with the lowest calculated bid shall submit the following documents for checking and validation. First is yung ating registration certificate from the SEC for corporations. Then we have the Department of Trade and Industry Certificate of Registration for Sole Proprietorships, or Certificate of Registration from the Cooperative Development Authority or CDA for cooperatives or other equivalent documents. Also, bidders with the lowest calculated bid shall be required to submit its mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. You're also required to submit your tax clearance under EO 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the BIR, and of course your audited financial statements. And please be reminded that this is very important, no, in GPPB Resolution 15-2021. This resolution states that all your Class A eligibility documents that will be reflected dun po sa inyong certificate of PhilJEP registration must be current, valid, and of course updated. And that failure on your part to have your legal documents updated or reflected doon sa PhilJEP certificate of platinum registration, effect po nun sa inyong certificate will be automatically suspended. So it's as if nawala po kayong PhilJEP certification, certificate of registration. So prior to, or at the time you submit your eligibility documents, including yung PhilJEP certificate of registration, lahat po ng annexes no, must be updated. Yan po yung sample ng PhilJEP certificate of registration. And ito po yung tinutukoy kanina na dapat po lahat ng documents na nandyan must be updated and correct. The BACG will no longer accept yung pong updated documents, kahit updated po siya, basta, pero naka-reflect dito sa Annex A ninyo na hindi siya naka-update, it will not be considered. Okay, for technical documents, this includes naman po your statement of all ongoing government and private contracts within the period stated in the invitation to bid, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any. The statement shall also include, for each contract, the following details po. Of course, the name of the contract, the date of the contract, the kind of goods, amount of contract, and value of outstanding contracts, as well as, of course, in date of delivery, and end user's acceptance or official receipts issued for the contract if the said contracts were already completed. The documents for ongoing contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, need not be submitted, but it should be presented during post-qualification if ever your firm has been declared as the lowest calculated bid. Now, please note that non-disclosure of ongoing contracts, including contracts awarded, yet to be started, which coincides with the contract to be bid, shall be a ground for your disqualification. So please take note po. Okay, ito po yung sample form natin sa ating statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started. This identified as form number 2 dun po sa ating bidding documents. So, ayan po, pakisupply na lang po yung mga required information and please remember to sign the form, and it should be signed, of course, by the duly authorized representative of your firm. The statement of bidders SLCC or single largest completed contract similar to the contract to be bid. Ito po yung supply and delivery of Global Navigation Satellite System or GNSS, real-time kinematic system with external radio setup. Yung type of equipment is, of course, Global Navigation Satellite System, GNSS, real-time kinematic RTK system with external radio setup. Ang similar contract po is surveying instruments or other surveying instruments. Ito po yung form natin. This is form number 1 dun po sa ating bidding documents. The statement of single largest completed contracts which are similar in nature. So again, katulad po nung form number 2 kanina, you have to supply the required information and have it signed. But please take note po of the supporting documents that are required to be submitted together with this form. So dito sa note number letter A, the statement shall be supported with the end user's acceptance or official receipts or sales invoice issued for the contract. So yun lang po yung mga acceptable na supporting documents to prove that the SLCC that you are submitting has already been completed and is similar in nature. And sa letter B, the note po is that the bidders shall fill up and submit this form for every item to be bid. Okay, for Class A documents, we have the financial documents. This consists of the audited financial statements stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from bid submission. Please note that only tax returns filed and paid through the BIR Electronic Filing and Payment System or EFPS shall be accepted. Yung po naman sa ating net financial contracting capacity or yung NFCC, it must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, or the bidder may opt to submit a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank. Ang value naman po nito, it must be at least equal to 10% of the ABC. So please, ito po yung how we compute yung inyong pong net financial contracting capacity. The difference between the current asset and the current liabilities multiplied by 15 and minus the value of all your outstanding or uncompleted portions of projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started coinciding with the contract to be bid. For Class B documents, and this is only applicable if you intend to join or form a joint venture agreement. So, a duly signed joint venture agreement, in case the joint venture is already in existence, you have to submit that also. Or you may opt to submit a duly notarized statement from all potential joint venture partners stating that you will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. Okay. For bid security, you may use either a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms of bid security. First form is we have the cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank, or you can use also a bank draft or guarantee or an irrevocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank. Now, if it is issued by a foreign bank, it shall be accompanied by a confirmation from a universal or commercial bank. Yung first two forms po ng ating bid security must be at least 2%. Must be 2% of the ABC, yung value po niya or yung amount. And also another form, the third one is the surety bond. It shall be accompanied by a certification by the Insurance Commission that the surety or insurance company is authorized to issue such instrument. The amount is 5% of the ABC. Okay, ito po yung sample form natin for the bid securing declaration. Makikita rin po yan sa ating bidding documents if you choose to use that bid security. For statement of compliance and technical specification, ito po the delivery schedule is as expressed as weeks or months stipulates hereafter a delivery date, which is the date of delivery to the project site. For this project po, this is to be delivered within 30 calendar days after receipt of the approved notice to proceed. 30 calendar days. The bidders must state in the statement of compliance either comply or not comply against each of the individual parameters of each specification, stating the corresponding performance parameter of the equipment offered. The statement of comply or not comply must be supported by evidence in a bidder's bid and cross-reference to that evidence. Evidence shall be in the form of manufacturer's unamended sales literature, unconditional statements of specification and compliance issued by the manufacturer. We also have samples. You can also use independent test data or other appropriate documentation to prove that your compliance with the requirements. Now, please be reminded that a statement which is not supported by evidence or is subsequently found to be contradicted by the evidence presented will render your bid under evaluation liable for rejection. Now, a statement either in the bidder's statement of compliance or the supporting evidence that is found to be false either during bid evaluation, post-qualification, or the execution of the contract may be regarded as fraudulent and render the bidder or supplier liable for prosecution subject to applicable laws and issuances. Ito po yung technical specifications ng contract. Nasa bidding documents naman po yan, so you may check. Now let's proceed po dun sa second envelope or yung po inyong financial component ng inyong bid. It includes the financial bid form. Ito po yung price of goods quoted must include all customs, duties, and sales and other taxes. Now, all bid prices shall be considered as fixed prices and therefore not subject to price escalation. And your bid must remain valid for 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. The financial envelope shall contain First, the original of the duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Napakita po natin yung itsura ng form mamaya. And of course, yung original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule. So ito po yung sample form. Form number 1 ng ating bid form. So katulad po ng ibang form, just fill out the necessary details and have it signed by your authorized representative. Ito po yung price schedule for goods. These are for goods offered from within the Philippines. And we have a different form for those goods which are offered from abroad naman po. So pakicheck na lang po kung tama yung form na mga ginagamit po. Now let's proceed to the format and signing of bids. Bidders shall submit their bids through their authorized representative using the appropriate forms provided in Section 8 in 2 separate sealed bid envelopes and which shall be submitted simultaneously. The first envelope shall contain the technical component, including yung inyong eligibility requirements, and the second shall contain the financial component of your bid. The forms must be completed without any alterations to their format, and no substitute form shall be accepted. And yun nga po, please be reminded that all blank spaces shall be filled in with the information requested. The bidder must prepare and submit an original of the first and second envelopes, and in the event of any discrepancy between the original and the copies, the original shall prevail. The bid shall be signed, and each and every page thereof shall be initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder, and any erasures, interlineations, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representatives of the bidder. Bidders shall enclose their original eligibility and technical documents in one sealed envelope marked as original technical component, and the other containing yung inyong financial component in another sealed envelope marked original financial component. And those two envelopes shall be sealed in an outer envelope marked as original bid. Now, each bidder shall submit one copy of the first and second components of its bid, and the procuring entity, however, may still request for additional hard copies and for electronic copies of the bid. However, yung failure po of the bidders to comply with the said request by the procuring entity shall not be a ground for your disqualification. The original and the number of copies of the bid shall be typed or written in indelible ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. Now, all envelopes, of course, shall contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters, must bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters, and be addressed to the procuring entity's back, and must bear the specific identification of this bidding process, itong ating contract ID and contract title. And it must bear a warning, do not open before the date and time of opening of bids. So let's proceed to the procurement timeline. So the invitation to bid for this contract was posted last October 12, 2023, and yung ating free bid conference scheduled today, October 19, 2022. And if you have any more other questions, bukod po dun sa questions later na may address natin, you may submit them in writing until October 20, 2023, tomorrow po. 4 p.m. office hours lang po, last day of the bidders to submit written requests for clarifications. Now, if the backward goods deems it necessary to clarify or issue any amendment to the bidding documents, this will be issued on October 23, 2023, and it will be posted po sa ating DPWH website, sa PhilJEPs, and sa conspicuous places po within the department. So, pakiabangan na lang po if ever we have we will issue any bulletin for this contract. And finally, on November 6, 2023, at exactly 10 a.m., ito na po yung ating submission and opening of bids. Now, let's discuss some reasons for rejection of bids and ineligibility of bidders. First, of course, yung ating late bids, no letter of authority from the company to submit the bidding documents, failure to submit supporting documents to support compliance with the requirement. Ito po yung sa ating statement of comply or not comply. So you have to provide evidence or supporting documents to support your compliance. Submitting forms not acceptable pursuant to GPPP Resolution 16-2020. Your net financial contracting capacity is less than the ABC, or if you choose to use a credit line commitment, the said commitment or credit line is less than 10% of the ABC. For bid security or surety bond, the words callable on demand and valid for 120 days is not inscribed in the bond. Another is failure to submit copy of the certificate from the Insurance Commission certifying the insurance company is authorized to issue such security. And we also have yung shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. And your bid price is higher than the ABC, which are ceiling. Madam Chair. Okay, so for inquiries, you may send them through the following email addresses to the backer person, Assistant Secretary Marichu Palafox, to the Back Secretariat at PWG, as well as the Implementing Office, which is the Bureau of Equipment. BOE po yung end user or implementing office natin, not the IMS. Okay. So, permission to proceed to the question and answer session. So, ma'am, kung meron po sila questions, just state your name po, your firm, and your question. The representatives from the end user are here to clarify.
Kung sa part kasi ng kasi po GNSS, kung registry ay
usually ba sa atin po pag sinabi GNSS training ng po. Ano lang din namin po mag yung according sa DO 56 tapos DO 12 ng po. So kailangan po ng certificate of registration from para kaya linagay na namin po siya sa technical specification.
Pero so wala na po doon sa baba. Asterisk. Even sa baba na asterisk. Other conditions. Ano pa sa school wala na mark. Letter G po. Other conditions, letter G.
Letter G kasi giraffe. Other conditions, yung warranty 1 year, standard warranty.
Dapat po ng liya.
Kasi po kaya
PMR po sa total state.
Nakasulat po kasi sa DO po, sa DO 86, yung ano na sa sa LMB, nakaregister. Pero according sa LMB, mag-certify na calculated equipment is non-available. Pagdating sa LMB is in total station natin na kailangan po i-calibrate sa UP calibration circuit. So since pinapalo po natin sa DO.
So okay, pero ano po yun, ang-RIA po talaga.
Ang-RIA.
Kasi yun yung ipapapasok po namin dito na
kasi ano lang siya.
Kasi pagka nagpunta ka ng DNR, sasabihin sa'yo, hindi kami ng RIA. So, pupunta kayo sa ng RIA. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions po?
Very siguro yung
Balik po natin sa
pero pupulit ka.
ano na lang namin.
Other than that, okay lang.
So dun po sa mga nanonood online, you have until October 20, 2023, if you have further clarifications or questions po, you may submit them in writing to until October 20, tomorrow po, 4 p.m. Dun po sa email address natin. Ayan po. You may email your queries to those email addresses.
Yung mag-picture tayo, palabasin mo yung mga i-attach natin ito sa ating machine. Good morning.
Ayan. Okay. Okay na? Dapat di pa nga
Ma'am, ongoing IQA, ma'am.
Picture lang.
Okay, target naman ako.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay. Thank you for attending. Okay lang.
Thank you po.
Okay.
Thank you.
These are good to Thank you po.
There'll be no other items in our agenda for today for the adjournment of our meeting. Second, Director.
Sir,
Moving forward.
nakamute ka, nakamute.
Yes.
Second ka na.
Mamaya kasi nandyan uli ako. Hindi ako na-inform, Madam Chair, na mayroong special ngayon. Wala kaming telephone.
Hindi naman naging masyado.
Move for John, Director.
Second ka. Second.
Sige, oo na lang ako na, di ko maintindihan.